What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are finishing up some of that side work that I was talking about. We're going to be doing some paint work. I'm going to be bringing you guys along for the ride. We're going to be painting a bumper, hood, and blending the fenders on this Subaru WRX. We're also going to be painting the Type R wing for my roommate Eric's Civic. So it should be a good, productive day. We will also be doing the Q&A at the end of this video. I asked you guys to send me questions on Instagram and on my YouTube channel, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video and maybe I will answer your question. But let's go ahead and get started. So we are currently working on getting all the parts sanded. Eric is finishing up the bumper right now. I don't think he's very happy about sanding, but that's okay. I've got the car taped up and ready, so now the only thing left to do is get our color ready and mix up some paint. So this Subaru is Lapis Blue Metallic, which is color code K3X. So I pulled it up in our system here. I'm gonna pull up the color chips so we can look at all the different variants of the color and pick the right one. We got 3 different variants here. So I really like using this tool right here. Basically the center section right here is left open so it shows the actual panel of the car, and then on either side you can put one of these chips and then compare it directly against the car, and this makes it very easy to tell the differences between all the variants. Alright, the hard part is done. That is all the sanding. This bumper in particular was rough as it was fiberglass. It took a lot of work to get it smoothed out nicely, good enough for paint, but we are ready now. So now all we have to do is set up all the parts on stands and put them in the booth as well as the car, and we'll be spraying here pretty soon. Alright, we got everything set up in the booth, taped up, and it is time to start spraying. I just want to explain real quick the type of job we're doing right here. So we have a new bumper and new hood that are going to be fully painted. And what we're going to be doing is blending the color into the fenders. This will ensure that all the color matches perfectly. So all we're going to need to do here on our blend is I'm just going to put a little bit of sealer on this edge of the fender that's right next to the hood, as well as the edge of the fender that's going to meet up to the bumper. And then we're only going to put a little bit of color in those areas to blend it all in. So it'll only be new color on this top edge next to the hood and on the bottom edge next to the bumper, and then we'll clear the whole fender. We're doing this on both fenders. So all I did on these fenders to prep them for the blend was sand them with some 800, and then we've got them taped up as you can see. So I'm gonna finish cleaning off this hood, and then I just have to start mixing up sealer and paint, and we will start spraying. So just wanted to kind of quickly show what this blend looks like in the sunlight. Very happy with how this came out. This is what you're looking for. Nice, seamless transition. Can't even tell anything was done to it. Alright you guys, it is time to get into some of your questions. I asked you guys to send me questions on Instagram as well as YouTube, and I've got to say, you guys asked a lot of very good questions, so I'm excited to get into this. There were actually a lot of questions asked, so if I do not get to your question in this video, don't feel bad. It might spark a new video idea in the future, or feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I'd be happy to help you out or try and answer your question as best I can. Alright, so first up from Instagram, getting a Miata with 231,000 miles, what maintenance to do to keep it in great shape. Pretty simple. I would just do your basics, your fluid changes, oil, maybe coolant flush, diff oil change, transmission and turret oil change. And then after that, just take a look over the car and see what parts are worn out and in need of replacement, because at 231,000 miles, there's definitely going to be some stuff that is going to be worn out, possibly suspension, ball joints, bushings. Check your brakes, check your belts. Has the timing belt been done? Check your cast O-ring. Check all those common Miata failure points. But other than that, I wouldn't worry too much. Just the basics. Miatas are very simple and usually don't give you a lot of problems even at that high of mileage. Mine has 270,000 miles on it, and I've just done these basic things and haven't had any major issues. I learned to paint a couple of different ways. First of all, just messing around with stuff myself at the house. I started off very, very basic with like spray cans from Walmart and just tried painting different things on my cars, like interior pieces, exterior door handles, mirror caps, stuff like that. And then I ended up going to school, technical school, to do automotive collision repair and refinishing, and I learned a lot more there and really learned how to do things professionally. And then now, as a lot of you know, I do work at a body shop, so I do this stuff every day, and that has helped me learn a lot and really learn how to do stuff professionally and get very good results. But like anything nowadays, you can learn a lot by just going on YouTube or on the internet and searching for what you want to learn. And chances are there's a lot of good resources out there that will teach you what you want to learn. And of course, experience and practice makes perfect always. All right, I just moved a little bit because the sun is brutal right now. This is why you do not film at noon. But moving on, Forrest asked, should I buy a new or used car? Things to consider, what to look for. I think this is a very interesting question because personally I don't know if I will ever buy a brand new car. The payments to me is just not worth it for what's out there currently. There's nothing that I would really want that bad to want to make payments like that on it. But that's going to be different for everyone. If you don't have experience working on cars like I do, you might want to go with something new. That way you're going to have a warranty. The car's not going to be old and worn out. You're really not going to have much to worry about. You're just going to drive it and do the basic maintenance on it and you should be good. But for people who do have more experience working on cars and don't mind working on cars, you can get some really awesome cars used. Like my roommate Eric's Lexus, for example, I think he paid $2,500 and it's a pretty nice, comfortable car with a lot of features that even new cars have nowadays, and it's a 99. So yeah, I am just a really big fan of the kinds of things you can get without having to make payments if you go used. Okay, these next two kind of go hand in hand. When am I going to track my Miata, and am I ever going to boost or swap it? I would like to track my Miata, and I also would like to turbo it, but before doing those two things, I really think I need to pull the motor out and do some very solid maintenance to it. I know it needs seals, it leaks a little bit of oil. I want to do that. I want to do timing belt, water pump. I really want to just pull it out, go over everything, make sure it's solid before I start beating on it on the track or putting boost into it. But I definitely want to do both of those things at some point. So once I get the Perrucci going again and everything is up and running, then maybe I'll start thinking about pulling the motor out of the Miata and getting to all that. This is a very good question. It's tough right now. I don't know what's going on this year, but the price of Miatas right now is pretty insane. We look almost every day, and recently we haven't seen anything underneath $4,000. There are some Miatas I would pay that much for. It's got to be real nice, real clean, in good shape. But for the most part, I usually wouldn't want to spend $4,000 on a Miata. I want to get it for around $3,000 or less. So this depends on you, how much you want to spend, what car you're going after specifically. But yeah, it's kind of tough right now. I would wait around for a better deal. Nope. They're solid. Just do your maintenance and run it. Why is it so hard to find a decent NA Miata in 2020? I wish I knew the answer to this. Like I just said, I don't know what is going on this year. The prices have been rising consistently recently, but yeah, this year is insane. I don't know why. They're all at least $4,000. Just keep looking for a good deal. Are hardtops worth it? I think so. I'm kind of biased though. I really like the way it makes the car look. It also really stiffens up the car. I notice whenever I take the top off and I go over bumps, it feels a bit more jiggly than with the top on. I think it cuts down road noise a little bit, and it's supposedly slightly better aero than with the soft top. But yeah, I think they're definitely worth it, especially given the fact that you can always get your money back out of it. They're worth $1,000 all day long, and I think it makes the car look really good. So yes, hardtops. Best wheel and tire size for the Miata. You pretty much cannot go wrong with the tried and true 15x8 wheel with a 205/50 tire. That's what I run. I think it has a nice meaty look to it. With very easy setup to run for the most part. Lots of tire options in 205/50, as well as a lot of wheels offered in 15x8. You could also do a 15x9 with a 205/50 or a 225/45. You can also go 15x10. The wider you go though, it does get a bit harder to stuff it under the stock fenders. You're probably gonna have to do some rolling and pulling. Good first car for a 16-year-old? I think it is. I think it is just because it's cheap to get into, it's cheap to work on, it's easy to work on. Chances are you don't have a ton of money to spend if you're 16, and you probably don't have a ton of experience. So it's a very good car to learn on because it's easy to work on and it's pretty cheap to work on. So I would say yes, it is a good first car. I want to learn how to work on cars more. Is the Miata a good start? Yes, that applies to this question as well. What got you into cars? So honestly, as funny as it sounds, Fast and Furious movies. When I first saw those, I thought that was the coolest thing, and I knew I was gonna have some cars like that one day. And I think probably just going to car shows and stuff when I was younger, I've just always liked them. I've always liked customizing things and making them my own. So cars are a perfect fit for that, and yeah, I just always knew I would want to be doing some stuff with cards like that. Best way to acquire a hardtop nowadays. Y'all have heard me mention this in almost every video, it seems like, but Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace, everything. It is the best place right now to get used stuff, used cars, used parts. I feel like it's great for all of that because you're definitely not shipping a hardtop. You're gonna have to get that locally. You're more than likely going to get it secondhand. I know Mazda is producing them nowadays, but that is going to be a lot more expensive than just getting a good used one. So yeah, check your local Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. I don't think you necessarily need to wait to install them, but I do recommend doing those other things you mentioned. The upper ball joints and coilovers especially. I don't have a lot of experience with sway bars on the Miata. Mine are just stock, but a lot of people do recommend them. But yeah, when I got my car, I replaced every suspension component up front that I could. So the upper lower ball joints, control arms, the coilovers, it makes a huge difference. Steering feels amazing, handling feels amazing. Definitely do all that suspension work. But that is gonna do it for those questions. Thank you again, you guys, for sending those. There was a lot of questions. I couldn't get to all of them, but you guys asked some excellent questions. Probably gonna do this again in the future. But that is gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome week, and we will see you in the next one.